Hello and welcome to Queued Pixel. Today I'm continuing my software development streams. Today working on open source software development. I plan to continue my work on my Twitch craps table chatbot. First let me bring up my stream schedule. Right now I'm working on the Twitch craps table chatbot. My next stream will be Sunday, March 17th. At 9 a.m. That is 1 week from today. Note that my time zone is United States Pacific time. As of a few hours ago, we are now in daylight saving time, and so note that the time zone has changed just slightly for your local time zone calculations. Anyways, let's hop into it here. I'll bring up the work I've been doing and the work I want to do going forward. First, we've added support for the place bet. Pretty simple bet. You're basically betting directly on a number. You're betting that that number is going to be rolled before a 7 is rolled. It's similar to odds on a come bet that's on a specific point, but you can place the place bet without needing to place the come bet. The downside is the payout is slightly worse than the odds on the come bet. We've also fixed, we fixed one instance of point that wasn't renamed to number. There's a renaming, and I guess one issue was not fixed. Going forward, I still have a bunch of bets to add here. We're just slowly working our way through the various bets. Place to lose is next on my list. It's basically the same as place, but it's the opposite. Instead of winning when you hit the number, you win when you roll a 7 instead of the number. Buy and lay, they're very similar to the place. Buy, you win if you hit the number. Lay, you lose if you, or lay, you win if you hit the 7. And then we got some other bets I'll get to, but my hope is to at the very least address place to lose, and we'll see where we're at the end of the stream. My schedule's a little limited today, so this will probably be a little bit of a shorter stream, but we'll see where we get to. After the bets, at some point I want to explore with allowing players to serve as the bank. That's kind of just a test I want to do right now. The bank is the bot and has unlimited funds, and so players could hop in and you bet their full bankroll and whatnot. And so I'm hoping that having the players serve as the bank will add a little bit of interesting complexity to the game. I'm not sure. Then we have kind of some niceties. Add ability to remove bets. The craps table. Normally on a casino you're allowed to remove some bets. Not all of them, but the ones you're able to remove, I think we'd want to allow you to remove. And add ability to turn bets on and off. Which honestly, if you're able to remove, that might be enough. We may not need to add on and off settings. So that's kind of the stuff I want to consider adding going forward. But for right now, we just have this backlog of bets to continue to look at. For those of you who were around when the stream was getting started today, you can see that I was in the chat room playing with the bot just briefly. Here's the results of my testing. Just testing some of the basic bets so far, using some basic betting strategies. For those who wish to take a look at the code, it is available on GitHub. Go to github.com/queuedpixel/twitchcrapsbot. I wonder if I can enable a project command here. Let's try, oops, not Discord. Let's go ahead and enable that. And let's go see if this works. Excellent. So yeah, if you want to see the project I'm working on, you can use the project command, and that will respond with a link, a clickable link to my GitHub project page. Excellent. Basically the same thing that leads to here. All right, let's get started. Let's go look at the bets I want to start with. Place to lose. This place I want to start. To see how that works, let's go bring up the guide. I've got a player guide. Now this player guide actually links to a Craps Basics webpage that talks about all the bets. I've been using this to figure out how to handle the payouts for each bet. So I'll just look up place to lose and to see how this works. It's probably the same as the place to win, but just want to confirm that before I... Actually, it's probably different, so I definitely want to review that before we proceed here. Place to lose are the opposite of place bets. They win on a 7 and lose on the number you're betting against, as far as I know. Place to lose bets are only found in Australia, England, and some internet casinos. The odds are paid as follows. So 6 and 8 are 4 to 5. Let's just check our code and see if those payouts are the opposite of what we're doing for place bets. We should have like a place bets multiplier, I think. Odds multiplier, place multiplier, yes. So 4 and 10 pay out 9 to 5. 5 to 11. To 11, so that's a little different here. This is 9 to 5. Oh, right, because the odds... Yeah, the house... So, I kept thinking back to the odds, and how the odds are basically the same, just inverted for whether you're on the light side or the dark side. For the place, that obviously can't be the case, because the house edge is factored into the payouts, and so they're obviously going to be a little bit different. So that's why it is 5 to 11 as opposed to 9 to 5. Then we have 5 to 8 as opposed to 7 to 5, or 5 to 7. And then we have 4 to 5 instead of 7 to 6. So yeah, we'll just have to adjust those payouts appropriately. So now the question is what do we want to call it? Let's go bring up our player guide here. And so like for pass and don't pass, I just use pass and then D-pass for don't pass as just a small abbreviation. Same with come and don't come. It's a way of place, and now we have place to lose. And so I could consider like place and D-place. Let's try that and see what that looks like. So we'll say D-place, place to lose on the specified number. We'll start with that. Now let's just start adding in the infrastructure to support this bet. So here we have all of our bet data structures. We have maps that map player names to their bets. For bets that will go on a series of numbers, like say come bets and place, and now place to lose bets, we actually use a sparse array to manage those. So we'll do the same thing for place to lose. D-place will be a sparse array. And let's do an init here. Yeah, we skip index 0. So here we iterate over all of the indexes of the sparse array. For come, we have the base level bet, which we put at index 0. then we allow a bet on each number. We have 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So not each number, but each point. And same thing for place to lose. In fact, it's the same as place, so we'll just replicate that there. Now I'll just continue to run through the code and look for places where we iterate over all of the bets arrays. There's like 3 or 4 different areas where that occurs now. Get available balance. This is another one here. Ugh, what the hell? My editor does not like something here. I'm not sure what's going on. It was weird. Alright, so we have place bets. If this place bets has username, the available balance minus equals place bets. If this don't place bets, place to lose. Do that. Check minimum balance. No. Show bet results. No. Odds multiplier. We will need to fix up our place multiplier, but we'll do that later. We'll build up the infrastructure first, and then we'll talk about resolving the bets. I like to allow you to place the bet first, and then once we've put in place the logic to place the bet, then we'll consider what it takes to win or resolve the bet. Just getting distracted here, going through all these different things here. Process come bet number, process come bets, process place bets, process roll. There's a function right after this that I think we need to adjust. Yeah, bets exist, so we need to add in don't place. So if don't place, if there's more than 0 don't place bets, return true, indicating yes, there is a bet. We use this to determine whether we continue rolling automatically. Normally the dice will roll once a minute as long as there are bets or if we have a point. And so we call this to determine if there are bets remaining. Process command. So now we're getting to the point where we're going to have the bet command. That'll kind of be the last area to fix up here. Bets command. No, that's to list the bets. I'm looking. Oh, actually, we do want to address this here. This is where we list all of the bets that a player has made. Here over the place bets. Let's see here. I think it might make sense to do a similar approach to the come bets. And so yeah, so let's divide this into multiple sections here. So we have the if, or sorry, we have, yeah, so we have the for that iterates over all of the indexes or indices, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So the for combined with the if skips the 7. Now let's fix this up. Say if this. If placebets has username, then let's put this code inside this block. Oops. Yeah. Then we'll add in for don't place bets. So if D place bets I has username, then amount is format currency. This D place bets and D place. And finally we have the bet command. So we'll say dplace on this. Handle number bet, we'll start with dplace. And we pass in dplace bets rather than place bets. Now let's go look at handle number bet to see if there's any changes we have to make to this guy. So handle number bet. Number is this get bet number, so this will handle all of that logic. We make sure that the bet starts with a type plus a space. If it doesn't, we complain you must specify a number. We parse the integer. If we can't, we complain unable to parse number. If it's less than 4 or equal to 7 or greater than 10, we complain an invalid number. Yeah, so number is equal to get number. If it's not a number, return. Otherwise, handle bet, username, type plus the number. We pass in bets plus the number. Undefined for the check function, so there must be no check function. So yeah, is there any requirement for a don't place bet? So as far as I'm aware, the don't place bet can be placed at any time. The opposite of place bets, let's go look up place bets here. The place numbers. May bet at any of these numbers. If it's roll before 7. Place are just like odds, except no pass line bet is required, and don't pay as much as odds. Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, they can be placed at any time. They don't require a point, they don't require a pass line bet, they don't require a come bet. And so yeah, I don't think there's any restrictions on those. Let's test that much to see how that works, and just make sure we haven't missed anything. Oh good, I didn't do any obvious syntax errors. So say craps bet don't place. We'll just go over all the basics to make sure all the basics work here. You must specify a number, alright, so craps bet dplace kappa. And able to parse number, craps bet dplace. Then next up is invalid number, so let's do 2. Invalid number, alright, craps bet dplace. Now we'll go 4. You must specify an amount, alright, so craps bet dplace for kappa. And what a parse amount, craps bet dplace for then amount, we could do 0 for an invalid amount. Bet is too small, craps bet dplace for, and too large, I don't have 1,000 sim bucks. Craps bet dplace for 5. Let's make sure that my bets show up. So say craps bets dplace of 5. Excellent. Craps balance. Make sure it adjusts in my balance here. Excellent. And finally, let's place the bet again. Craps bet dplace for 5. I've already made this bet. Craps bet dplace 5 for 5. Craps dplace 6 for 5. Oops. Craps bet dplace 6 for 5. Let's do a quick roll and test this here. Obviously, we don't have winners or losers yet because we haven't built up any of the bet handling logic for don't place bets. I do want to do a quick test and just see if all of those bets I made show up. So we have a 4, 5, and a 6. Excellent. Yeah, so all of the testing appears to work just fine. We can place the bets just fine. And so next up is how to resolve these bets. So let's go look up to the section of code where we resolve our bets. First we're going to want a don't place multiplier. We can't reuse the place multiplier because it's going to be just a little bit different. So we'll just say don't place multiplier. Let's go look up the payouts one more time here. So 4 to 5. Actually, we'll start with a 4 and the 10. So that's 5 to 11. 5 to 11. And we have 5 to 8 on the 5 and 9. And then 4 and 10. Oh, actually, we've dressed. I've done this backwards. So 4 and 10 is 5 to 11. So that's the correct order. So 4 and 10 is 5 to 11. 5 and 9 is 5 to 8. And then 6 and 8 is 4 to 5. And so that should work pretty well there. We'll obviously test all this once we get everything in place here. And then we should have a function for process place bets. And so iterate over place bets arrays. And so place bets lose, but don't place bets win. So let's just grab this. This will be more useful for me here. So process bets, we have don't place bets. Instead of die total, it is sub I. This D place 1 bind. Actually, yeah, no, that should be correct. We'll need to revisit, we'll need to write this function. So we'll get there in just 1 second. And this becomes I. So let's go look for place 1. Place 1, D place multiplier, and let's see, I built up these multipliers, place and D place multipliers, because I thought I would want to reuse these. But I'm only using them in one place right now. I use it here for place bets and here for place to lose bets. I think it's fine because if I ever do get around to adding a player as a banker, I'll want to have access to those values. I will want to reuse those, and I think it's a nice looking pattern. So we have all these kind of very simple functions here. Then we have kind of these lookup table functions up here. And I think that pattern works well, even though I'm only calling these last two functions in only one spot. I think that's fine. So let's go down to the rest of the process place bets and finish that. Alright, so if we roll a 7, the don't place wins. Otherwise, the don't place loses. So let's go look at this here. So process bets. This d-place bet sub die total loses. That's honestly probably it. It's not too hard. So yeah, I think I'm ready to give this a try. So I'll just do some quick tests and see if this works. So let's start with a number of 4. So craps bet D place 4 for $1. Just to now let's see here. Let's go look up the math. So for a 4, that'd be 5 to 11. So let's go bet 11, and we should get paid 5. And now let's roll a 7. So craps roll 3, 4, and we should get paid 5. Actually, let's just set this up. Craps balance, so we know what our balance is. We have 772. We should have 705.72 when we're done with this. So craps roll 3, 4. Craps balance. I won $5. Woohoo! Excellent. So that works. So the bet got cleared out. My balance got adjusted properly, so that all looks good. Let's do the same thing for the 10. We'll say craps bet D place 10 for $11. And craps roll 3, 4.
Welcome to Andromeda.
I want $5 more bucks. Check my balance. 710.72. Excellent. So now let's check for the 5 and 9. This will be paid 5 to 8. So let's go bet 8, and we should get paid 5 again. So craps bet D place. Let's see, this is on the 5 and 9, so 5, 4, 8. Let's roll a 7, so craps roll 3, 4. Helps if I spell craps properly. And I won 5 more bucks. Yeah, so everything seems to be working. At this point, I'm just going to test the remainder of the numbers to make sure the payouts are correct, but I'm not going to check my balance each time anymore. So we've just done 5 for 8. Let's do 9 for 8. So craps bet D place 9 for 8. Craps roll 3, 4. And again, we won 5 whole bucks. Now let's go look at the payouts. For the 6 and 8, this is 4 to 5. So if I bet 5, I should get paid 4. So craps bet place 6 for 5. Craps roll 3, 4. Should get paid 4 back. Last 5. What the heck? Oh, I bet the wrong thing. I wanted to do craps bet D place 6 for 5. Craps roll 3, 4. I won $4. Excellent. Then craps bet D place. Let's see, that was just the 6. Let's do 8 for 5. Craps roll 3, 4. I should win $4 more. Excellent. So craps balance. Make sure there's no weird balance stuff. Craps bets. Make sure there's no weird bets hanging out. Excellent. So now let's just do all of the losers and make sure that those hit as well. So these don't matter. We should just be a straight loss. So we'll just say craps bet 4. Let's see, D place 4 for 1. 5 for 1. 6 for 1. 8 for 1. 9 for 1. And 10 for 1. So I should have 6 bets out there, 1 on each number here. Oh, but it won't let me do it because I've already done that once this roll. So let's say craps roll 1, 1 just to do a roll that doesn't affect anything. Say craps bets so I can see my bets now. So I don't place on 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and finally 10. And then craps balance. Now we have 6 numbers, 6 bets for $1 each. So that does drop my available balance down by 6. So now let's just roll through these numbers. So craps roll. Let's do the 4 first. We should lose for 1. And then 2, 3 for the 5. And 2, 4 for the 6. And now let's do 5, 4. Let's do 4, 4 for the 8. 4, 5 for the 9. And 4, 6 for the 10. So I should have cleared out all of my bets at this point. Let's go check my balance. And let's check my bet list. Yeah, so I think that's it. That actually worked out to be fairly simple. I've done a bunch of refactoring to make it easier to place these kinds of number bets. And so to go through and place those bets worked out fairly well. So that was to add the place to lose. Let's go look at the code and see where we're at. Alright, so I've added our new array to handle these don't place bets or place to lose bets. We've initialized them. This is to adjust available balance. So if you have a don't place bets, it does adjust your available balance based on your bets there. Oh, it looks like the bot is continuing to roll in the background because I do have a point. Let's go ahead and stop that here. Well, I'll leave it running if anyone wants to play with it, but that'll continue to run in the background automatically until the point is hit or it sevens out. Alright, so we've adjusted the available balance function. here we have our D-place multiplier. This is our new multiplier we've added that tells us how much we win when we hit the don't place bets, or the place to lose bets. Here we have the function that allows us to win or lose, or win in this case, we win the don't place bets, and uses the don't place multiplier. So we have adjusted our function for handling place bets. We have this one-liner for processing place bets. We've turned that into 2 lines now, so that place bets win when you hit them, don't place bets lose when you hit them. And finally, if we 7 out, actually no, this is if we 7 out. If we 7 out, the place bets lose, the don't place bets win. If we hit the number, the place bets win and the don't place bets lose. Here we have the function for determining if we still have bets remaining. So we added in place bets here. If they exist, we return true. And see, this is to list the bets. This is for the bets command. And so we used to have a one-liner here for handling place bets, and now we've split this into 2 sections. So we have our for loop combined with our if to iterate over all of the points, the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. All of our numbers, I should say, all of our place bet numbers. And then we've moved this up a little bit so that we now have 2 sections here. We have one for the place bets and one for the don't place bets, or the place to lose. And finally, we have our bet processing. We look for a bet command starting with the word dplace. If that is, we pass that into handle number bet and say we're placing a dplace bet. Nice and simple, and all that works pretty well. So let's do a quick log here. Add support for place bet. Well, let's say add support for place to lose bets. Add support for place to lose bet. Let's go ahead and push that right away. I've made one small change to our player guide. I just like to make sure that the player guide does look correct and haven't committed any weird issues. Just kind of a small sanity test here. So we have dplace number, place to lose on the specified number. Nice. All right, let's think through what comes next here. I still have to add remaining craps bets. We've just implemented place to lose. Up next is buy and lay. These are very similar to the place bets, with the exception that there's kind of a small penalty you pay when making these bets. And so let's go take a look at the Wizard of Odds guide for these here. Buy bets are like odds or place bets, except with different odds. The concept is that they pay fair odds, like odds bets, except you have to pay a 5% commission to make the bet based on the bet amount. This commission is usually non-refundable. However, in some cases, the commission on the 4 and 10 is charged only on a win. Just trying to read through here. They don't really talk about the exact commission. You have to pay a 5% commission to make the bet. Based on the bet amount, the commission is usually non-refundable. However, some casinos, the commission on the 4 and 10 is charged only on a win. Yeah, so it looks like we need to charge a 5% commission. Then I'm guessing since you are charged a commission, that bet is going to remain until you lose it. Normally, with our bets on the implementation I've done, once you hit the bet, your bet is returned to you immediately. That's done for like the place bet, which in most casinos you typically want to leave those bets behind and either press them or whatnot. But in our case here, we return them immediately. And if you want those bets to go back, you've got to place them again. However, since there's no commission when placing those bets, there's no big deal. And so for the buy bets, we probably want to... well, since you pay a commission each time, we're going to want to keep those bets around until they're resolved. And so we'll need to think that through. So that'll be some potential complex logic here. So let's take a look. So we're kind of talking about the bet resolution, and before we get there, let's talk about kind of the just infrastructure here. Let's make sure I have committed everything. I think I have, but I'd like to just make sure. Yep. Yeah, so let's just add in the buy bets. The other sparse array. And we'll just look through for any place where this is used. So we have initialization, so we have the buy bets. And before I forget, let's actually go add in on the specified number. Just like to keep our guide updated, our computation updated. Alright, so we have our initialization. Just going through anywhere where we iterate over all of the bets here. Get balance, get available balance. We'll need to adjust this here. So we have don't place. Let's go add in the buy bets. This again. I wish I knew why my editor did this. There's really nothing unusual about what's going on here. So if buy bets has username, available balance is minus equals buy bets sub I for the username. Check minimum balance, show bet results, no odds multiplier. Since the payout will be based on the true odds, we'll be able to use the odds multiplier function, so that should be fine. D-place multiplier. Bet 1. Light odds 1, dark odds 1, place 1, D-place 1. I'm going to leave the bet handling for later. I'm just looking at infrastructure and placing the bet for now. Mouse cursor out of the way. Process bets. I think the next spot is going to be if bets exist. Yeah, here we are. We'll just add in buy bet sub I. If those exist, return true. And now we have processing commands. Let's go look for the bets command. Yeah, so this will be close to the end here. Small typo there, I forgot to add. I forgot to pluralize that. And I think at this point, we're going to replace, place, and buy bets arrays. I think I'll just add it here. It'd be very unlikely that you would have a place and or it'd be very unlikely you'd have multiples of these bets on a single number. And so this should be fine. Oh, really? This crap again? I'm going to want to figure out why my editor is doing that to me. It shouldn't be doing that to me. Alright, so let's do buy bets. Yeah, so we print out the buy bets. Bets found true, so we don't display you have no bets if you have a buy bet. Bet command. So now we need to talk about how to place the bets. See, I need to step away for just a few minutes, take a quick break here. So I'm going to set a quick timer, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, we are back. Thank you for your patience. Just needed to step away for a little bit there for a quick break. But we are back now. And so we are in the middle of adding support for the buy bet. We've added in all the infrastructure to support it, and now we're looking at how to allow a player to place this bet. So if we duplicate the don't place, we could do like a buy bet, handle number bet, username, buy, then pass in buy bets. This will be great that it'll handle kind of all of the underlying logic. If we look at handle number bet, it gets the number by calling get bet number, and that handles all the logic for is it a valid number, is it parsable, blah 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 blah. And then it passes on to this handle bet for the rest of the logic. And we look at handle bet. It complains you need to specify an amount, be able to parse it, make sure it's greater than 0, make sure it doesn't exceed your available balance, make sure you haven't already placed it, and then finally place the bet. Now the buy bet is special though, in that there is this 5% commission that we need to charge. And so just try to think through how to do that. We have this chuck function. Chuck function is used to determine if it's used to handle additional checks. So like some bets, like the odds bet, like the pass line odds bet, needs a point before you can make it. So the check function is used to do things like make sure that you have a point. And there's other similar checks for some of the other bets. And so we could try to subvert the chuck function and say if instead of returning false, true or false, we could say return a number, and that would be the amount of the bet, and then if it's not a number, then that's equivalent of false. So that's one option, is to overload chuck function so that we add in that additional functionality. Another option is to add a secondary function. It's like adjust bet amount or something, bet amount function. I'm not really sure what to call it yet. And then that would have the same effect. Just pausing to think through this a little bit here. In our case, I think only the buy and the lay bets have this commission aspect to them that I'm aware of. They don't have any other checks. So if we go look at the buy and lay bets, let's see here. What happened? I went way off. Dplace. We don't have any. In fact, none of the handle number bets have a chuck function. We just coded that into the chuck function. Just passes in, or the handle number bet function just passes as undefined for the chuck function. So we haven't had a need for a chuck function. And yeah, I think the buy and the lay aren't going to require a chuck function. None of the other bets use this commission aspect, so we conceivably couldn't combine the functionality. And the only hesitation is just a lot of places I need to look at to adjust. But it's simple enough. Let's look at that process. Let's just return a number, not a number, instead of false. And I think we'll also return the amount. So we'll have to. So we're gonna have to pass in the amount if we don't already, and I think we do in some cases. Let's see what the check functions look like here. We handle bet check function. Yeah, when we call check function, we pass in username and amount. So the amount is already accessible, and so yeah. We should be able to do this. Point check, max odds check. Yeah, let's just look through it and see what we can do here. So these are all the various bets. So and all the check functions should be after this. We've get bet number. This is not a check function. This is handled. This is called before we call the check function. Handle come odds bet. This is also not a chuck function. This calls handle bet and passes in a chuck function. That is not a chuck function. Handle number bet, same thing. It calls handle bet, but passes in undefined for the chuck function. It's not a handle, not as a chuck function itself. So I think all the chuck functions should be after handle bet. So we have point check. Let's see who uses this. This is one of those things that might be used in multiple places. Let's just go to the very beginning. Yeah, so we pass it in for the come bet. So it is called straight out as a direct check function. Same for don't come. There's the function there. It's also called as part of other check functions, so we'll need to consider how those work. Yeah, so let's just fix this up. We'll say return. Oops. Just do that. And then instead of return true, we'll return amount. So that's been fixed up. Now let's look up max odds check. I'm pretty sure this is also a check function. Let's just look for that. Max odds check. There's the function itself. Let's see, it's used as part of the pass odds check and the don't pass odds check. And the come odds check, and but nothing else. So it's not a legitimate check function. It's not called by our handle bet function. So it's something I can ignore. I will ignore max odds check. Actually, before I move on, I should probably go adjust everywhere that calls point check. So we fixed up this function here, return not a number. And now we need to say if this point check, let's see, we need to check for not a number here. We're on line 843. Let's go grab this. It's not entirely what we want. 843. Alright, so if number is not a number of this. return false. I'll obviously want to fix up this, but let's continue to finish our check on point check first. So we fix this up. We fix this up. So if number is not a number of point check, return false. There's this as well here. In fact, we can just steal this whole line. And that's it. So there's the two calls. Here's the function. And here's these two calls here. So point check is done. Let's go to our next function, which is max odds check. And I think we said that this is not used as a check function. Here's the function. Here it's called here, here. And here it's used in a weird bind, but it is not ever used as a check function, so I think we can avoid changing that. Let's look up pass odds check and see who calls this guy. Alright, so this is definitely used as a check function, so we need to fix this. Alright, so it looks like we have a couple of spots. Return false in 3 spots, return true in 1 spot. So let's just grab the number, not a number. Return that here. And here. And there. Then here we'll just return amount. Let's continue to check and see who uses this. So there's the check function calls. Looks like no one calls it directly, so this is just used as a check function. There is the don't pass odds check. We can do the same thing here. Return not a number for that. Not a number for that, and not a number for here. Then if we return true, in this case, it got switched to amount. And I don't think anyone else calls don't pass odds check. Yeah, just the check function, specification, and the function itself. So that's fine. Next up is don't pass check. See who calls this. Yeah, so same thing. It's not called anywhere else, but it is a chunk function. So let's go adjust this to return not a number. And then return amount if everything is good. And we have come odds check. Let's see who calls this. Looks like it might not be a check function. Oh, no, it is. We're specifying it as a check function here. And here's the function itself. So let's go look at what we do here. Return false, return false, return true. So we'll just adjust the return falses to return not a number. And this will just return amount. And that's it. Those are all of the functions. We've modified all of our functions. And now let's go modify our handle bet function to handle this new bit of logic here. So I just want to grab something from here. Let's just grab that for an example of how to handle this. So handle bet. Oh, you know, it just occurred to me, and I'm probably going to want to undo every change I've just made, or most changes I just made. Well, no. Because yeah, check function is literally the last thing that gets called before we place the bet. My concern was if check function occurred before any other checks. Like this one here, to check to see if we've already made this bet. And if that was the case, we may not be able to use it. But no, we do the check function last, so we can still do this logic here. Because basically the check function we're about to build is going to charge the 5% commission, and we don't want any other checks to possibly result in this bet not being placed after we've charged that commission. So I think this will be good here. So let's add our note here. So if check function is undefined, we'll say if number is not a number, oops. Ah, come on. So if number is not a number of check function, return. And actually what we probably want to do is say, let's drop that. We'll say var final amount is equal to amount. If check function is undefined, we will say final amount is equal to check function. And then if number.is not a number of final amount, then return. Then we will use final amount rather than amount. And so all this to allow us to now specify a check function that will then charge a commission and return the actual amount for the bet that we're going to place for the user or for the player. In the meantime, I'm going to do some quick testing and make sure that we haven't broken anything. We've made some pretty substantial changes. I just want to make sure that we haven't broken anything at this point. So I'm just going to run through all of our bets and make sure that they all still work. So to do that, I'm just going to bring up my player guide here. We'll start with the pass. Say craps bet pass of 5. And now let us establish. Actually, we could do pass odds. We could check pass odds here. So we say craps bet pass odds of 50. That involves one of the check functions. You need a point first, so that much works. We could say craps bet don't pass of 5. And that works. Craps bet don't pass odds of 50. You need a point first. That works. We can place a come bet. So craps bet come of 5 and should complain. You need a point first. And then come odds. Say craps bet come odds on the 4 for 50. You need a come bet on this number first. All right. Then say craps bet don't come of 5. You need a point first. Craps bet don't come on the 4 for, or sorry, don't come odds on the 4 for 50. You need a don't come bet on this number first. Alright, so that's come odds, don't come odds, place. Well, there are no checks with place and deplace. So we could make a place bet, so craps bet place on the 4 for 10. Craps bet deplace on the 10 for 10. And we could test our buy, say craps bet buy on the 4 for 10. And nothing really comes out of that because we haven't adjusted anything. Say craps bets to see if what our bets look like here. So we place on the 4, buy on the 4, don't place on the 10. And right, our pass bet has already won. Oh yeah, there's the buy. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like all the bets are working. I'm not seeing any errors coming up out of this. Certainly no crashes out here. So let's go take a look at how to proceed here. So the logic is intact here. So we come up with our final amount. We initialize that to amount. If the check function is not undefined, we set final amounts to the check function, and then we check to see if final amount is not a number. If it's not a number, we return. Otherwise, replace the bet for the final amount. So what we really need is let me look up the logic for buy bets here. 5% commission to make the bet based on the bet amount. Lay. 5% commission to make the bet based on the win amount. Huh. Alright, so that'll be more complicated for the lay. Let's focus just on the buy for now and get the buy working. So we're going to need a new function here. Probably like a buy check. We're going to need to bind in the number. Ugh. How does this work? Let's look up over where we do a dot bind. Let's check bind this. Check params. We have number. See, the trouble I'm struggling with is we need to somehow get the number we're working with into this function we're about to write. Yeah, the tricky thing is this is where we're going to specify the check function. Similar to something like this. We do need to update handle number bit to take in the check function. The trouble is that it's only as part of number bit that we have the actual number that we want to work with. And so we could just pass in the function, not bind it to anything, and then bind it under handle number bit. Might be an option. Let's try that. First, let's add in the chuck function here. Let's update every call to handle number bit. Just pass in undefined. Helps if I spell correctly. Undefined. Alright, so if chuck function is not equal to undefined, let's see, how do we do a bind here? Yeah, we say chuck function dot bind. We want to pass in craps table is this, and number is number. Of course, what I need to do is make this a class. And then we pass in chuck function. So that should work. So if the check function is defined, so it's not undefined, we bind in the craps table and the number, and then we pass that in here. And so now we can build in our own check function. Let's just grab this as a template, add a comma, close that up. And we'll say by check for the moment. We have username amount. US bind object of this function as follows: craps table, reference to the craps table object. Combet no. A point for the by bit. There's not really a point. We'll say the number for the by bit. And so we basically want to take 5% off this. You can say var commission is equal to amount times 5%, so 0.05. Let's charge a commission here. Or let's output the commission that's charged. So this.crapstable.user message is a charged a commission of we need to format the number We have examples to do this. Let's see if I can find one handy. Yeah, format currency. There we go. So username is charged a commission of splat. Let's just check this. That exceeds our maximum odds bet of. Let's get rid of the colon. I don't think we use the colon in most cases. And then return amount minus commission. And let's see, we need to call this, so let's go look up how we do, how we call our check functions here. Now, rather than undefined, it's going to be this dot by check. Now let's give that a try. I think that is good enough to actually complete the process here. So let's try to do a buy bet on, I don't know, the 4. Say craps bet buy on the 4 for $1. Crash. Cannot read property of user message of undefined. Alright, well let's take a look here. This is line 910, so I am there. This .craps table, so craps table is undefined, so somehow the bind I set did not work. Let's go take a look. Well, first let's actually just log what we're seeing here. So let's console.log this and see what that looks like. We'll try the same thing, say craps bet buy 4 for 1. Okay, wow, we have a whole lot of stuff that's being logged here. This is not our craps table at all. A whole lot of weird little stuff here. Okay. That's out there. Why is this not being bound correctly? Let's look for who calls buy check. This dot buy check, we're passing it in to handle number bet. So let's go look up number bet and see what that looks like. Handle number bet. Oh, let's see, we're doing check function.bind, but I think we need to say, yeah, we need to do, I think we can do this. Check function is equal to that. I think that'll fix it. I'm not sure about reassigning that parameter, but I think that'll work. Let's give that a try, see if that works. Same thing, we'll say craps bet buy for 1. Valid number. Ah, okay. Oh, craps bet buy 4 for $1. Crash. Format currency is not a function. Alright, we're making progress. So this is because I need to call craps table from line 911. This.craps table dot format currency. Let's try that one more time. So craps bet buy 4 for $1. Okay, so it looks like it's working. I'm charged a commission of 5 cents. Let's verify that by listing my bets here. Yeah, so I've placed a 95-cent bet on the 4. A buy bet for 95 cents on the 4. So that commission does seem to be working. Of course, my balance is still not adjusted properly. Because what should happen is it should charge my commission right away. So if we say craps bet buy 10 for, say, I don't know, $10. Let's make it $20 because that'll be a full $1 commission. So I'm charged a commission of $1, and that should drop my balance by $1, but it's not going to do so because we haven't built that in yet. My balance is still going to read 717.72. And it's going to drop by $9 for the available balance because that's tracking the bet that I've placed. Let's go clean this up. We don't need the log on this anymore. We've solved that. And so yeah, we need to say this dot balance. I'll have to look up how this works here. Let's go look up how handle bet works. We have get available balance. Let's just look it up here. We have player balances. Yeah, so we just want to adjust the player balances directly. So we say this dot player balances dot set for the how does this work? I just wanted to check this because I think I have a particular way of handling this, and this will be for heart of handling bets. Show bet results. It's like a handle bet, I think. Or process bets. Yeah, so let's do this. So this dot player balances dot set of username. It has to be this dot craps table dot player balances dot set username. This dot craps table dot get balance username minus, or actually yes, minus commission. This is a complicated enough line of code that I might want to refactor this into a function at some point. It's tough to tell. I mean, it's a one-liner, and it's tough to justify pulling a one-liner into its own function. But it is getting to be a little bit of a mouthful, and I've used it in a couple of different places. Let's just look at how many places I do a player balances.set. This is get balance, so obviously that belongs there. Check minimum balances. Yeah, that belongs there as well. We have process bets. And this, yeah, there's literally two spots where this really matters, where this structure is used, where we basically increment or decrement based on some value. Now, it's a little bit of a code smell, but I don't think it's quite enough to justify doing it just yet. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Let's do it. So we have get balance, get available balance. We have check amount of balance, process bets. Just grab this. Let's do like an adjust player balance. Where could we put that? Show bet results, check amount of balances. Yeah, let's do adjust player balance. And we're going to need a username and an amount. Plus amount. So just to kind of get that logic all in one spot, rather than separate it out in two different places like it is now. Let's go look for who calls this. I think we still have this here. Yeah. So no, this is a different pattern, so I'm leaving this. This is also a different pattern, so I'm leaving that all. I noticed that those two are the same pattern. And so what I want to refactor this. I actually have on my list of stuff, maybe not on my physical list, but on my mental list, to add incremental balance adjustment. So this is an idea I've had. So like right now, if you place a bet that is your full balance, you start with a balance of 100 units, and if you place a full bet of 100 units and lose, your balance gets set automatically back to that 100 unit balance. And so you can just do it again, and you can do that again and again and again until you win, until you double your balance, and maybe you try that 2 or 3 times till you get a balance of 200, 400, 800. You just keep repeating that until you get whatever balance you want. If we ever add like a leaderboard type scenario, that would be a cheesy, munchkin-y way of getting onto the leaderboard really rapidly. And so an incremental balance adjustment would be like, okay, you've lost all of your balance. We're going to give you 1 unit back for every minute until you're back up to 100. So it might take an hour and a half to get back up to 100 to try to slow down players who try to do that trick. And so if I ever did that, that would change this logic here. So I think that's why I'm going to leave this alone for now, is I'll potentially want to do this minimum, or this balance, this incremental balance adjustment at some point. Alright, so get balance, we're leaving alone. This one we're leaving alone for the reason I described. And here we have adjust player balances. That's the function we just wrote, so we're not going to refactor that. And here we go. So say this, adjust player balance. We have username, which I already have, and the amount is result. And then we can drop this. I paused there for a second as I looked at bet results. Well, first let's finish this refactoring first, then I'll look at this .betResults.set. So here we are here. So it's this .craps table. Adjust player balances username. And then it's minus commission. And that replaces that line there. Yeah, let's go look at line 616. Oops, what did I do? something else. I've missed it. Let's see who calls this because it was near this. 315, that's what I was looking for. And so who calls, 316, who calls this .betResults.set? Just these two places. And so yeah, I'm not going to refactor those. And the only reason I did this refactoring is because it was called in two places. And it's just a little bit of a complicated line. There's some logic there that wasn't really obvious. That could be missed if somebody were to replicate that in the future. You know, we set the player balances, and we have to get the balance. We call get balance to do it. Because this will handle things like minimum balance and the balance not existing and stuff like that. In fact, I think I want to do this. Let's just call it adjust balance. I think we can put this in your get balance. Let's go see where get balance is. Yeah, get balance, get available balance. And then yeah, let's do adjust balance here. There we go. Then we'll fix the rename. Yeah, so that should work. So we compute the commission, we subtract the commission from your balance, we print out a message saying that you're charged a commission. Let's just do commission colon. I'm trying to make this all fit on one line here. Oops. See if we like that formatting. In fact, this might allow me to fit this all in one line. Excellent, it does. Yeah, so let's try that. See if this gets us one step closer. So let's check my balance first. So craps balance 717.72. Now let's place a buy bet on the 4 for $10. So this should cost me a $1 commission, dropping my balance by $1, and then should place a $9 bet. So my available balance should be 707.72. My balance should be 716.72. Let's test this. Oops, I charged a commission of 50 cents. Because I need to go 20. Let's try this one more time. So my math will work here. So say craps bet buy 4 for 20. So that'll drop my balance down to 716.72. My available balance will be 697.72. Yeah, 716.72 and 697.72. So that looks good. And now let's make sure that my bet shows up properly. It should be a 19 unit bet on the 4. So that looks like that is working just fine. Of course, we don't have bet resolution yet. All we've done so far is to set up the logic to place the bets. Just have to do some quick spot checks here to make sure that all the error handling works on the buy bet. So craps bet buy, we'll give it no number. I'm gonna specify number. Yeah, it's all using the same logic. So really nothing really is broken here. Unrecognized bet. Oops. Craps bet buy kappa. And able to parse. Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Say craps bet 10. Say bet buy 10. Then we don't give it an amount. We'll have the same, you must specify an amount. Craps bet by 10 for kappa, unable to parse amount. Yeah, so all the same logic is working. I don't need to run through all of that. Just a quick spot check to make sure that works. Yeah, so the next question is how to process these bets. Let's go take a look at how to process these bets. We have process come bets, process come bets, process place bets. What I think I might want to do is say process number bets. Process number bets. Alright, so it's only called in that one spot. We'll handle 7 out. This will cause every bet to lose, so this will include the buy bet. So let's just add in the buy bets here. This dot buy bet sub I bet lost. If we win, handle hitting a specific number. Seems like we're missing a bit of a comment there. So the place bets win. Process bets, this place bets die total. Actually, in this case, it is buy bets. Place 1, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like an odds 1 type thing. Light odds 1 should be. Let's see if I can find our light odds. Process come bet number. That's where this is going to be that I'm looking for here. Yeah, so this light odds 1. Let's just copy this. So this light odds 1 buying craps table, this number is die total. And I think that'll work. The tricky thing here is that this will actually clear out the bet, so we can test and see if the payout is correct. The trouble is the bet is still going to be that we need to keep the bet behind, actually. And so we can make sure the payout is correct, but the bet's still not going to be left behind. So let's just test this, and then we'll figure out the next step here. So as before, let's just bet craps bet buy on the 4 for $20. Charge a commission of $1 and the bet is made. Now let us list our bets, craps bets. We should have a $19 bet on that. Now let's win it. Craps roll 2-2. We should win 38. But we should no longer have our bet any longer. So if I say craps bets, I have no bets. If I check my balance should be all correct now. And so the next step is to figure out how to leave this bet behind. Let's go look up how we process bets. Everything is filtered through this process bets function. This iterates over every username inside the bet map that we pass in. We compute the bet result. This determines whether we win or lose. We adjust our balance based on this. Then we set bet results to indicate how much we've won or lost. Then we clear the bets. And so the only thing that really needs to change here is if we lose, we want to clear the bets. But if we win, so we could add in a new flag. It's like clear the bets. You know, should we clear the bets type flag, and only do that if that's true. This is only done in one spot, soon to be 2 spots. We could say, ask if we should clear the bets. Let's just see what this looks like. Let's look up everyone who calls process bets. It's going to be pretty substantial. So come back. I mean, pretty much everything is going to be true at this point. So true, 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 true. Also going to be true on these things. So say true, true. True on this. True on this. Oh, so making me consider, do I just want to add in a default parameter? Which I don't remember how to do that off the top of my head within JavaScript, but it seems like a potential useful thing to consider here. We'll continue to just cycle through here. True. The process number bets, so here we have true on this. True on that. On that. Oh no, wait, this is the one place that is not correct. No, wait, no, this is still correct. If we lose, we still want to clear out the bet. So that's still accurate there. This is place bets. Let's say true on this. Wrapping it like, now let's see. We can wrap it like this. True on this. And finally, the one spot where it is not true, it is false here. We're just at the limit of what we could fit on one line. Let's check other places where we call process bets. Let's go fix these up. We've got true, true. True on those. And we have a whole bunch over here. I think I liked it like this, so we can do that and line it up like that. True on this as well. And let's go ahead and line this up. Alrighty, so that's all of the changes. Let's just go look through this stuff and see if there's any other kind of alignment issues I can consider here. So I've kind of mixed and matched a few things, and maybe I can go get things a little more standardized. Yeah, like here, I can move this to the end. Line up these guys. Oh, and this still works. Cool. Yeah, here we have a couple that are weird. Let's see here. Do that, this, yeah, I think that's why I didn't bother, because there's just really no fixing this. It is really kind of hideous no matter what. So let's just undo all that and leave it where it was. I think I liked where it was better. Yeah. Because it's just too much to try to clean up. Yeah, so I think that's good. So let's go look up process bets here. Bet one, we return your bet. So result is bet result, bets get username, adjust balance. Yeah, my main question is I just want to make sure that players don't get paid twice. So let's think this through. You place a bet. We don't decrement your player balance when you place the bet. We only adjust your balance here when your bet is won or lost. So if you lose, we take the bet you've placed and subtract that from your balance, and then we clear out the bet. And so that's correct. Your balance then goes down to that point. If you win, we adjust your balance. Actually gives you your winnings, and then we clear the bets. But since we never decremented your balance to place the bet, clearing it has no effect on you. So that's fine. The only case where it has an effect is in the buy bets that we're working on right now. So I think we're fine. I think the logic works. So let's add the final bit of logic. So if clear bets, then bets.clear. Let's give this a try. First, let's just try a basic bet. So say craps bet pass of 5. Let's do a quick winner there. Craps. Let's do a loser. Let's do craps roll 1-1. I've lost $5. Let's share that my bets are cleared out. Excellent. Let's get my balance here, just so I can verify all this. 749.72, so that looks good. Now let's do a winner. So craps bet pass of 5. Craps roll 5-6 to have a yo 11. So I won. Let's check my balance. Should be up to 754. Let's check my bets. I should have no bets. Yeah, so that bet is working fine. I'm not going to test all the bets. I just wanted to make sure that the logic seemed to be sound for at least one of those bets. At this point, I want to test the buy bet. So let's say craps bet buy on the 4 for 20. I'm going to charge a commission of 1 unit. I make my bet for 19. So let's check my bets. Why is that not coming up? Oh, because I've already called that. Let's do a craps roll 6-6, just so I could do a quick test here. Say craps bets. This will allow me to see my bets. So a 19 unit bet on the 4. Craps balance. Make sure my balance has been adjusted. Should go to 753 with an available balance of 734. Excellent. And now if I win this bet, I should get double and still keep the bet. So craps roll 2-2. I should win my 38. Craps bounce. And it looks like I still have the bet, so let's try craps bets. Make sure that bet still exists. Excellent. Now let's say craps roll 3-4. This should cause me to lose. I lost my $19 bet. Craps bets. I have no bets. Craps balance. I should go to 772.72. Excellent. Yeah, so I think if I place... trying to figure out how to get an even bet of 5 here. So let's open up my calculator. So if I say 6 times 0.05, that's 0.3. There's a quick algebra here, so I basically want, I want 5 to equal x, let's see, 0.95 times x. So I want to figure out what I have to put in for x. Should I divide both sides by 0.95, so the 5 divided by 0.95, see if that works. Where'd my calculator go? 5 divided by 0.95. Okay. 10 divided by 0.95. Seems not right here. Times 0.05. How about 19 times 0.95? Oops, 19 divided by 0.95. Ah, okay. Times divide by 0.95. 50 divide by 0.95. There just isn't a easy way of getting a nice value here. So I think I'll just continue to use 20 for everything. At least it works out to a nice even number. Let's see here. I probably can get rid of some of this test code here. Yeah, I think this was examples of how to handle binding. So we've solved binding. We've handled this. We've updated our guide, we've handled this format. We've handled all this stuff, so I don't really need any of this stuff here. Just have to clean up my notes every once in a while, make sure that, that my notes reflect what is going on. So yeah, I think we're about ready to test a few things here. So yeah, we're just going to test all the different numbers and make sure the payouts are correct for all of them. Should be pretty basic. We've already started with the 4. Let's do the 4 one more time. So we'll say craps bet buy on the 4 for 20 bucks. And craps roll 2 should win 38. All right, now let's say craps bet buy on the 5 for 20. Charge a commission of $1 again. Craps roll 3. 128.50, so that's 19. And let's actually look at the payouts here. Right, it's paid true odds, so that'd be 3 divided by 2, so the calculator, 19 times 3 divided by 2 is 28.50, so that does work. Now let's say craps bet buy on the 6 for 20. Charges a commission of $1 and places the bet for 19. So that would be 19 times 6 divided by 5. So 22.8. Let's hit that real fast. So craps roll 3. 122.80. Excellent. Now let's do the same thing for the 8. So craps bet buy 8 for 20. Craps roll 4. 122.80 again. Now let's go back to the 9. So craps bet buy 9 for 20. Craps roll 5 to hit the 9. 128.50. Excellent. And then finally, let's say craps bet buy on the 10, so 10 for 20. Craps roll 5-5. This should have us win 38. Excellent. Now we do craps bets. We should see I have bets on all of these guys here. So buy on the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to let this play itself out until that 7's out. In the meantime, I'm going to go look at our git diff and git status and see if we're ready for a commit here. It feels like we're pretty close, but this will just be a good chance to make sure I haven't missed anything. Alright, so I've added in our new buy bets data structure. It's a sparse array with indices for 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, so similar to our place bets and our don't place bets and our come and don't come odds. We initialize it. We incorporate it into our available balance calculation. We've added a new function for adjust balance. And hey, the point was made. I made 38 bucks. Excellent. So adjust balance, this is a new function. We just had a small refactoring because this bit of logic was showing up in two duplicate locations. And it just was complex enough. It was kind of borderline, but I felt that I wanted to get that addressed. See, process bets. We've added a clear bets flag to this. So normally we clear the bets, but in some cases, like the buy bets, we do not clear those bets. We use our new adjust balance refactored function. And here's our clear bets functionality. Now here is the clear bets functionality. We set it to true for all cases except for one. Hey, we win again. We are crushing it over here. Yeah, so I set it to true on all these because we want to clear the bets on every single bet processing except for when the buy bets win. So it's the only case where it's not going to matter. That's the only case where this is going to be false instead of true. So true here, true here, true here. True on these two, true on these two. We did a small rename here. We called it process number bets rather than process place bets, since we've been incorporating more stuff into it. It's the place, don't place, and now the buy bets have all been incorporated into that. Oh no, there's the 7 out. That'll cause me to lose all my hard-fought cheating money. Let's just check my balance here. Pretty good deal for me on my balance there, having all those win. It's good to be the king. I obviously want to clear out my balance before I deploy this in a production non-test scenario, but for development and testing, this is fine. Alright, so continuing on with the comparison here, we've added true for the two that exist. And then, okay, so we've added buy bets. Buy bets are lost when we roll a 7. And yes, it's true, we do clear out the bets when we do lose. And it's true on all 3 of those now. Handle hitting a specific number. So, place bets, we win. And that's true for clear out the bets. Don't place bets, we lose and we still clear out the bets. For buy bets, we win. And we do not clear out the bets. Did a rename, process place bets became process number bets. True, so we do clear out these bets here. True, we clear out the bets here. True, true, true. We clear up bets on all of these processes here. Same here, same here. We clear up bets on everything. The only time we don't clear out the bets is when the buy bets win. That's when that becomes a false. Right here. Everything else, this clear bets flag is going to be true. Alright, so moving on. So here, this must be like the bets exist function. If buy bets exist, we return true, so we don't continue, or we do continue to automatically roll if we do have a buy bet that exists. Iterate over place bets array. This is 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Here we've expanded this to say we're iterating over place, deplace, and buy bets arrays. Still 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. We add a line here for the buy bets. I think this is to view the bets that you have. Yeah. So we handle that for buy bets. Okay, then for handle number bet, let's see. We've added a new parameter to this. We've added the chuck function. Normally it's undefined, but for the buy bet, we've added in this buy check. So handle number bet, we've adjusted it to take in a check function. If check function is not undefined, we bind craps table and the number to it and then pass that in. Here the handle bet, we compute this final amount. We've added some additional logic surrounding check function. So check function now returns not a number if it's bad. It used to return false, now it returns not a number. If it is a number, we set the final amount based on that and then use that for the bet. So that way when we're doing a buy bet, we can charge a commission and still make the bet. And then here we just had some minor refactoring. We'll return not a number rather than false, and return amount rather than true. Same here. We had to do a little bit of extra checks. We have to check to see if the call on point check is not a number. If it is, return not a number. And then return not a number, since this is a check function itself, return not a number if we have an issue. Otherwise, return amount instead of true. Here, we do the same thing. We'll return number not a number. We call point check. If that returns not a number, we'll return not a number. That's final check, return not a number. Otherwise, we'll return amount rather than true. Then a simple check here. If it fails, we return not a number. If it succeeds, we return amount rather than true. Same here. We return not a number instead of false. And amount rather than true. And then here is our new function. It handles the commission. We compute the commission to be 5%. We adjust your balance right away to subtract that commission immediately. Then we print out the commission so you know how much you've just lost due to your commission. And then we return the amount minus the commission, and that's used to place the bet. And finally, we have added this buy bet to our documentation. Okay, well I think we are ready to commit. That looks like a nice solid commit there. So add support for buy bet. Next up will be the lay bet. And let's go ahead and push this right away. We've made a change to our player guide. So I do like to just take a quick glance at that and make sure that that guide does show up. Now, if you guys want to look at the code is available on GitHub. I'll go send a link in chat here shortly. In the meantime, I'm just going to glance at our guide, see what this looks like here. There is the link to the project, so if you want to take a look, you can go there. GitHub.com/GoodPixel/TwitchCrapsBot. And here we've added the buy on the specified number. So looks good. Okay, I think this is a really good stopping point for me. I need to grab lunch, and I have a meeting later this afternoon, so I just need to do a couple things to get ready for that. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for watching. Here is my schedule of upcoming streams. My next stream will be on Sunday, March 17th, 1 week from today at 9 a.m. Note that my time zone is United States Pacific Time. As of today, it is now Pacific Daylight Time, so UTC -7. Note that for your local time zone calculations. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.